You know that feeling, right? You jump in the shower hoping for a nice strong spray, but instead you get this weak little trickle. It is so frustrating. Well, the good news is we're about to look at a super simple fix for this incredibly common problem. So, does that sound familiar? You go to turn on the kitchen faucet and the stream is just kind of sad. It's a problem that can sneak up on you until one day you realize your plumbing has totally lost its oomph. If this is what's happening in your house, the cause might be way, way simpler than you think.
So, what's actually causing this? Your mind probably jumps to the worst case scenario, right? Like major pipe problems or a failing water pump. But honestly, the real issue is often a tiny, overlooked part. It's time we pull back the curtain and find this hidden culprit.
Okay, let me introduce you to the debris screen. Think of it like a little bodyguard for your entire plumbing system. It's a small mesh filter, usually right where the water comes in, and its only job is to catch all the gunk, sediment, tiny leaves, whatever, before it can get in and mess up the more delicate parts of your system. A simple job, but a really important one. But here's the catch. When that little screen does its job too well, it gets clogged up with all that stuff it's catching, and when that happens, it creates a bottleneck. It's just like a traffic jam on the highway. The water just can't push through at full force anymore, and that restricts the flow, causing that frustrating pressure drop all over your house. So, how can you be sure that this little bottleneck is actually your problem? Well, thankfully, your plumbing system gives you some pretty clear warning signs. Let's go over what you should be looking for and listening for. The most obvious sign, of course, is just a weaker stream from your faucets. You might also notice it's taking forever to fill the bathtub or for the toilet tank to refill. And this is a big one. Listen to your water pump. If you hear it clicking on and off more than usual, or if it's making a strange grinding or whining sound, that means it's working way too hard to push water through that clog. That's a classic symptom right there. And now for the good news. This is a totally manageable DIY fix. Seriously, you don't need to be a master plumber for this one. You just need to follow a few simple steps. Let's walk through exactly how you can get that screen clean and get your water flowing like it should again. Okay, now before you even think about grabbing a winch, the single most important step is this. Shut off the main water supply to your house. This is non-negotiable, okay? It's the one thing that keeps this simple fix from turning into a massive indoor flood. So please, safety first. All right, here's the game plan. Once that water's off, open a nearby faucet to get rid of any pressure left in the lines. Next, you'll carefully take off the screen's housing. If you're not sure how, just check your pump's manual. Pull out the little screen and just give it a good rinse under clean water. If there's some stubborn gunk on there, a soft brush will do the trick. Once it's clean, just put it all back together, turn the water back on, and go test the flow. Now, while this is often a super simple fix, it's also really important to know your limits. Sometimes low water pressure is a sign of a bigger problem, and the key is knowing when to put down the tools and just pick up the phone to call a professional. So here are the red flags. If you clean that screen perfectly and your water pressure is still terrible, something else is going on. Also, take a good look at the screen itself. If it's always getting damaged or looks corroded, that could point to a bigger sediment problem somewhere else in your system. And of course, if you think the pump itself is the problem, with worn-out seals or anything like that, it's definitely time to call in a pro. It really all comes down to this. A clean debris screen is a small investment with big returns. Taking just a couple of minutes every so often to check this tiny little part can be the difference between having great water pressure and facing some really expensive repairs down the road. The payoff for such a small task is just huge. And that gets you thinking, doesn't it? We just saw how one tiny, almost hidden component can have a massive impact on your entire home. It really makes you wonder, what other simple maintenance tasks are we overlooking that can make a huge difference in how our homes run every day? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.